Nunam pramatta kurute vikarma yadindraya pritaya apanoti na sadhu manye yata atmanoyam asanapi kleshada asadeha. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. When a person considers sense gratification the aim of life, he certainly becomes mad after materialistic living and engages in all kinds of sinful activity. He does not know that due to his past misdeeds, he has already received the body which, although temporary, is the cause of his misery. Actually, the living entity should not have taken on a material body, but he has been awarded the material body for sense gratification. Therefore, I think it not befitting an intelligent man involve himself in the activities of sense gratification, by which he perpetually gets material bodies one after another. Begging, borrowing, or stealing to live for sense gratification is condemned in this verse because such consciousness leads one to a dark, hellish condition. The four sinful activities are illicit sex, meat eating, intoxication, and gambling. These are the means by which one gets another material body that is full of miseries. In the Vedas, it is said, Sango hi ayam purushaha. The living entity is not really connected with this material world, but due to his tendency to enjoy the material senses, he is put into material condition. One should perfect his life by associating with devotees. He should not become further implicated in the material body. When a person considers sense gratification the aim of life, he certainly becomes mad after materialistic living and engages in all kinds of sinful activity. He does not know that due to his past misdeeds, he has already received a body which, although temporary, is the cause of his misery. Actually, the living entity should not have taken on a material body. He has been awarded the material body for sense gratification. Therefore, I think it not befitting an intelligent man involve again in the activities of sense gratification, by which he perpetually gets material bodies one after another. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains that when we look at materialistic people, so madly engaged in the pursuit of sense gratification, without any much gain, even over a period of time, without any much logic or reason, we should take inspiration from them. That they, without any much gain, without any much sustainable reward, they are so madly engaged. How much they are working hard. So, how much hard we should work for Krishna? How much hard we should work for Krishna? You know, how much hard we should work for Krishna. Having such an oceanic depth of understanding, knowledge, reason, and reward. Krishna consciousness reward is real. It's not illusory. It's not titillation. It is transformation. So materialistic person is mad in his or her pursuit for sense gratification. So the increase, or you can say the intensity or the speed comes owing to madness. So therefore, materialistic person is mad owing to sense gratification or in the chase for sense gratification. Whereas a devotee, while the devotee is working hard for Krishna, the devotee is not mad, the devotee is glad. What differentiates the mad state from the glad state? What differentiates the mad state from the glad state? In madness, knowledge becomes more and more constricted, occluded, eclipsed. But one is in a glad state, the uh, one is in full knowledge, and therefore one is able to relish. In madness, one has no sense of discrimination. So even though one is suffering, one doesn't realize that one is suffering and torturing oneself. Whereas the glad state, why we are calling it as glad state for a devotee, is working hard for Krishna, because the devotee is in ecstasy. So therefore, everyone, which Prabhu? So the uh, I don't think I get it. Okay, so
Hare Krishna, requesting devotees to please mute themselves. Somebody is unmute. I'll check. Rishabh.
So actually, therefore, uh, one should always, as a devotee, one should always try to compare that, okay, while one was on a material drive or while one is on a material drive, how much one will work hard for that cause, shabby cause. And at least that level of performance one should give when it comes to service for Krishna, if not more. Like you see, what is a crazy mad drive for sense gratification? Hmm? Some people are addicted to movies. They watch 3 movies a day, full. We have seen so many people in Kharagpur here. They watch 3 movies a day, every day. They have target 100 movies a semester. So 3 movies a day means 8 to 9 hours every day. Actually, that much they study, they will get 11 point out of 10. No, so how much is the frenzy, the craziness? Some people are attached to cricket. Sometimes the cricket World Cup is at 2 o'clock in the morning, and people are there 1:45 ready a.m. ready for the 2 o'clock World Cup. One time there was a football FIFA World Club. Bengal, there are some waves of football also. So one day I got up at 3:15, 3:30, not to, I mean, I had just got up to go to the washroom. I mean, like that, and then go back to sleep again for some half an hour, 45 minutes to catch up more. But I got up, I saw some brahmacharis were awake and they were watching, so something, I thought they're giving a Bhagavatam class to the international preaching, somewhere in, probably Europe or somewhere evening one, program, like that, somewhere in Europe. And later I came to know it was FIFA, World Cup. FIFA, football? FIFA is football or cricket? Football. So, so the point is that level of performance, you see. And if that is the level of performance, then everybody can come for 4:30 morning program is a luxury. Actually, morning program should start at 2:30, like that. But the proper, very merciful 4 o'clock, 4:30 morning program starts. 4:30 morning program is a luxury actually. So we should see that when it is material drive, then there is when there is material drive, then there is so much of madness. But one should also always compare with that madness. Whenever we are feeling a little slack in our Krishna consciousness, we should always compare. If it is a material drive, how much I'll work hard? Why am I not working hard for Krishna? At the same level. Why am I not working hard for Krishna at the same level? We should always have that comparison. Should always have that comparison, because if we, so we don't have to look at anybody, we have to only compare with ourselves, that yes, when I was on a material drive or when I glide down to a material drive, even as a devotee, how much I work. Huh? Am I working that much for Krishna? Why am I not working that much for Krishna? I need to work. So we need to drag ourselves and we need to stretch ourselves to work at that level, because if we do that, that is good enough to take us back home, back to Garden. Because the amount of madness and craziness which the sense gratification, the drive for sense gratification creates, that much energy we can channelize towards Krishna, we'll go back to Godhead in this very life. There is no force in the entire universe which can stop it, unless we ourselves commit Vaishnava Aparadha and other things. That is the point. And our acharyas are exemplifying this feature and this aspect also. The classic example is Srila Bilvamangal Thakur. Srila Bilvamangal Thakur was on the Bhava platform. It is explained. But in that particular life, he was, he had not manifested his bhakti. Because actually the Acharyas explain that even though one has advanced in Krishna consciousness, in the next life when a person comes, immediately one does not manifest bhakti many times. One has to be ignited. The flame of bhakti has to be ignited. That capacity is there, but the ignition has to come from a devotee. So unless the intervention of a devotee comes in one's life, even that solid backup of bhakti does not get activated like that. And therefore, we will see many a times acharyas also in their own lives, we see them not practicing bhakti up to a certain stage, and there is some devotee intervention, and then it's an explosion of bhakti. So many times we can see that. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's life also we see the same thing. No? Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, right from within his womb there was intervention. So he was, so therefore he was, by birth he was a great Vaishnava. His Bhakti was completely man. Many acharyas exhibited it. Bilvamangal Thakur was like that. So Bilvamangal Thakur was a flamboyant, rich youth, young man, and he was attracted to a lady. Uh, and he was, yes, lady's name Chintamani, Chintamani Mataji. He was very much attracted to the lady. She used to live in the other village, across the river. Every day he would go, just like every day we are told to go to Mangalarti, he would go every day to take darshan. Not only darshan, he would sing songs, like that. He would dance also, So same thing, what we do in Mangalarti, everything, like that. He was very attached, very attached. And every day he would go. And one day the weather was very rough. It was thundering, raining like anything. There were storms which were blowing. The river was over flooded. There was nobody, to, no human being was daring to get out of the house. And it was his time to go. It was his time to go. And he stepped out. It was a tormenting rain. It was raining like cats and dogs, as the proverb says. There were hailstorms. Still he went and he reached the river. He was completely drenched. It was so much raining, one cannot even see ahead. So much rain everywhere. And the waters were flooding. No sign of any boatman. He could not even see a boat. Bilvamangal Thakur, he had such a madness and frenzy. Over flooding river. He wanted to cross. He was looking for a boat. He did not see a boat. And he was fumbling here and there and he was madly, frantically searching. Finally, he caught something in his hand. He thought it's a log of wood. He caught that, he caught that, and he started, floating. He said, "No problem. It was not a log of wood. It was a dead body." He caught that dead body and crossed the river with a dead body. And then he went Chintamani's house, locked up, and he was banging. Nobody was opening. Yes. And he knew Chintamani's bedroom was on the first floor. So he went to that balcony, he was shouting, nobody, there was no noise. It was already so much sound was coming, thundering, raining, storm, and so on. He wanted to climb, he was looking how to climb. He thought, I'll climb, I'll directly jump into the balcony and then into the, maybe break off the glass and then go inside, like that. So he was trying, and he was thinking, he was trying frantically to search something. He found something like a rope. He said, okay. He caught hold of that and started climbing and started jumping up. It was not a rope, it was a snake, a live snake. But he used that alive snake to climb up to the, balcony. And then he entered and then he was banging out and peeping inside from the window. And Chintamani saw that. She was shocked. First she was horrified, then she saw, oh, Vilamangal Thakur is there. She was shocked. At that time, Mother Chintamani said something which struck Bilba Mangal Thakur so much. It really exploded the devotional service in his heart. Bilba Mangal Thakur. Chintamani said, shame on you. How much lust you have for this body made of flesh and mucus and blood, pus and urine. If this much attachment, even a fraction of this attachment, if you have for Krishna, you will go back to Godhead. And there was a very heavy lightning flash, in the background, all the lightning was flashing, like that. Mangal Thakur, these words started ringing in his ears. What a mad attachment. Nunam pramatta kurute vikarma. And he was looking at his body. What a mad attachment. His clothes were torn. You know, his body, there were so many places where his body had wounds. Blood was coming out. His face was bloodshot. I mean, not blood, I mean, the blood was coming out. His face, his hands, his legs, his clothes were torn. And he was bruised at so many places. Nunam pramatta kurute vikarma. Chintamani's words started ringing in his ears. This much attachment you have towards Krishna. You'll go back to Godhead, go back to Godhead, go back to Godhead. Srila Bilva Mangal Thakur, all his previous bhakti, got exploded. Mother Chintamani's one sentence ignited that bhakti. And he decided to divert all his frenzy, madness, energy towards Krishna. Srila Bilva Mangal Thakur, the way he came in, the way he went back. The way he came, the same way he went back. The route he came, the same route he went back. From the balcony down into the river, back. But he did not go back to his home. He decided to go to Vrindavan. The same energy, Nunam pramatta. Look at the amount of energy which is spent for sense gratification. So as a sadhaka, we need to compare that and we need to channelize that energy towards Krishna. Because if we do that, even if there is struggle to do that, if we do that, we're going back home, back to God at this very life. And that's why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in his Shastaka, Mahaprabhu is praying, Durdevam idrisham iha janina nurahagaha. This prayer is, this prayer and feeling shoots out from this comparison. This kind of a comparison can trigger this kind of a prayer. Durdevam idrisham iha janina nurahagaha. The Lord is so merciful. But why I am not developing that attraction towards the Supreme Lord? Why am I not wholeheartedly serving the Supreme Lord? Dudeva Vidrisham, fire on me, damn on me that I am, that why I am not developing that attraction. And this is, uh, 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 and that is why Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is telling we should compare the materialist enthusiasm And that much struggle we should do to serve Krishna, to serve Krishna. Otherwise, materialistic people feel that devotees are lazy. In some sense, that fact is there, because that fact comes. Why? Because for sense gratification there is madness, and out of that madness is materialistic people work so hard, so hard, so hard. But when it comes to devotional service, that madness is not there. That dudeva midisham mihajanina. So the devotee, in general, may not work very hard, and therefore we have to push ourselves to match with the materialists. You know, we have to push ourselves to match with the materialists. Now, that okay, they are working so hard for Krishna. Let me work. They are working so hard for sense gratification. We should at least work equally hard for Krishna. At least equally hard for Krishna, if not more. So, if not more, no? And that is why we need to push ourselves, and that struggle, and that struggle is very auspicious. That struggle is worth it. That sweat and toil, no, and burning, no, we don't have to burn the midnight oil, but we can burn the daytime oil, early morning oil and daytime oil, like that, so uh, yeah, early morning oil and daytime oil. So that sweat and toil is worth it, and that can attract the great mercy of the acharyas, and can give us that escape velocity for spiritual emancipation. Let's stop here for today. Do we have any questions? Yes. Don't have attachment to Krishna, that's a fact, because of the envy we have in our hearts. Uh, the living entity comes to this material world because of that envy. Because of that envy and aversion to Krishna, we don't have attraction towards Krishna. So we all have demoniac propensities. That's a fact. That's why we are existing in this material world. Now we need to purify it. So we need to struggle. We need to struggle. Now, attraction will not come first. First struggle should be there to serve and please Krishna. By the mercy of the Vaishnavas and by mercy of the Supreme Lord, the heart will be purified, and then attraction will slowly develop. But first, what is needed is to struggle for Krishna. How much? As much as we struggle for sense gratification. That's the point to drive ourselves to. That's a point to drive ourselves to. Yes, Manvi. Hare Krishna. Yes. We must have some this thing of love for God, but why that is absent? That's not absent, that's covered over. That love is there, but it is covered over by ignorance, and that envy breeds from ignorance. That envy breeds from ignorance. So therefore, when we do Shravana Kirtana, the heart gets purified and that love gets awakened. That love is there, but we have caused it to sleep. Just like a person may be living, but if he is giving anesthesia, then the person is out of consciousness. Similarly, not only anesthesia, but if one drinks or takes some drugs, then also one is out of consciousness. So intoxicated, So here, Lord Rishabdev is telling that sense gratification intoxicates a person. It's like taking drugs. So materialistic drive, everybody is a drug addict. So we have to, therefore we have to struggle to get out of that addiction. So once that influence of that addiction recedes, automatically the Krishna Prem awakens in the heart. We need to awaken that. And that is why we subject ourselves to hearing. Because just by hearing the Krishna Katha and the Krishna Nam from the devotees, the latent, dormant Krishna Prem gets awakened. The polluted aim of life gets purified. Hare Krishna, Dhanavad. Okay, so let's stop here for today. Ventraj and Bhagavatam ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai.